WTF moments on paternity court.
Why you're lying? Like we just had sex yesterday.
Oh, anybody,
Tia takes care of you.
No, my husband does.
After you had that conversation, I'm gonna add in there that she also said there's a 50-50 chance that I'm the father of the child.
Entangled in the love of an older man, Miss Moyette wasn't only left with a broken heart, but also with the responsibility of taking care of the child on her own. Baby daddy, on the other hand, is in for just the play and not the pay. Awkward situation, right? Let's see how things unfold for this duo.
Mr. Lester's involvement in baby Nyla's life.
Well, Your Honor, Mr. Lester has hardly been involved in Nyla's life.
Mr. Lester, you haven't done anything for the child?
That's not correct, Your Honor. I did buy sleepers, bottles, and things of that.
Not a promising state for Nayla. Well, Mr. Lester believes that Nayla isn't his. And such situations. People do tend to act this way, which made the judge ask the defendant how he could be so sure.
So, Mr. Lester, you're saying that this is all in her mind?
Yes, Your Honor. It is definitely in her mind.
We've had sex, and I don't know why you're lying. Like we just had sex yesterday.
Is that true?
Yes.
Oh. If all of it is her imagination, then why are you making babies with her? Mr. Lester, you could not only fool enough to fall prey to a too young girlfriend, but the guy was not using any protection either. And we all know such actions call for what?
Today, when you had sex, did you use protection?
Yeah.
What she's saying is you were having unprotected sex with her then, and even since this child's birth, you're still having unprotected sex with her, which means that you are a possible father if, in fact, that sex occurred during the window of conception.
I understand that, Your Honor.
Yeah, that is a very good way of becoming a potential father to a child, ain't it? And what did Mr. Lester argue? Well, he doesn't want to be a father. Hello, mister. Things don't work like that in the real world.
You weren't interested in having a child.
No, I wasn't, Your Honor. I only was interested in the friendship. Every time she expressed how much she cared for me and how much she wanted to be in a relationship, I expressed how much I didn't want. And I never misled Miss Moyette or anybody.
Now that's just playing with someone's feelings. Why keep feeding younger girls emotions when you are going to just abandon her like that? And if you think that we are kind of overstating, listen to how this toxic dynamic had affected the baby mama.
It opened me up to the fact that, well, maybe it could be. I mean, my background is not the best as far as me and my father. Him coming along, being older, when you're with someone every single day, how are we not together? How are we not boyfriend and girlfriend?
Tragically, the plaintiff knew that her obsession had to Nayla being fatherless. And by not protecting herself, she had brought the baby to a vulnerable place. But now there was no option but to come forward with the truth.
That's a lie. You've never used
Your
a
Honor.
condom. Now, with the girls that he's cheating on me with, he used condom, but he's never used a condom with me, and you know that. So stop lying. Why would I get on national TV and say I never used a condom?
Indeed, not a good thing, but we admire baby mama for owing up to her mistake, unlike the sugar daddy who wasn't man enough to be honest in the courtroom. Believe it or not, the guy had even brought lousy evidence to defend himself.
We had protected sex, Your Honor.
Then I've never had protected sex.
Only when Iris forced herself on me did we not have protected.
It was always unprotected.
This all was just crazy. Mommy was just loud and agitated. Potential baby daddy, on the other hand, was sneaky and trifling. Not a good combination, I must say. Such equations always bring drama. Hopefully DNA will sort this out for good.
Mr. Lester, you are Nyla's father.
Yes! Yes!
Ma'am.
Didn't I tell you?
Ma'am. Go ahead and have a seat.
Lies after lies have left Mr. Gilbert and his mother in paternity doubt. They don't believe a word coming out of Miss Cole's mouth. This dilemma has brought them to Judge Lake, because if DNA doesn't prove what baby mama is claiming, the family has no intention of taking in the child as their own.
We don't know the truth from fiction anymore. I'd like to just find out where we stand on this whole situation.
So you believe the baby she's carrying is not your son's child?
Absolutely. I do not believe that is my son's child. That's why I'm here today.
A classic case of friends turning into friends with benefits. But it was a one-time thing. Even when the pregnancy news broke out, Daddy wasn't very excited and responded to the text from the plaintiff like this.
I found out I was pregnant. Would you be in the baby's life if you knew it was yours? And then you wrote back, yay.
No, yeah, why? There's supposed to be a space there.
You say, you've only been with me, haven't you? And she says, yes, I'm pregnant. And then you say, oh boy.
Yes.
And if you think that was dramatic, then you should be sure to know that. When the defendant's mother called the baby mama's palace to talk about the child, she was totally shocked at what had been going on in the background.
And you were on the phone and you say you overheard this?
I was a little lost. I mean, I'm getting this news from a third party. My son hadn't even told me. And when I called to talk to her about it, her other daughter was in the background yelling, "Somebody else may be the father."
Listing this, Tiha's mama got really freaky and told the court that she was the one who disclosed the other potential daddy because she didn't want to hide such important information.
What I believe I'm hearing through this testimony is that there is another possibility.
Yes.
So you're saying the other potential father, you've found out since that he's had a vasectomy, or he had a vasectomy?
He had.
However, it turns out that the other man had not given any proof of the vasectomy. There could be a chance that he was just lying. Or is there a chance that the baby mama is lying about it? On that note, the defendant presents some more evidence to expose the
I 100% know the baby is yours. You write back, I don't. Miss Cole writes, the other guy is Fick. You write back, so he says. And if you believe that, you wouldn't have lied to me. Miss Cole writes back, do you want to be in this baby's life? And then you write, after a paternity test.
And while the defendant's mother was being all mature and compassionate, the plaintiff's mother was busy making a nagging mess, even though she knew that her own daughter was an equal perpetrator of this mess.
What do you have?
Right here,
Jerome,
Your Honor. Would
please
you
hand me
like
that
to
evidence.
see this?
You want it to be his, or you
Yes,
know?
I do.
I'm getting a DNA test done on Monday to find out who the daddy is of my baby. Wait, I thought you said you knew because the other guy had a vasectomy.
People lie.
Confusion is just dripping out of this paternity ledger. FYI, things are about to get worse, as after this judge took out her conception calendar, and we know how wondrous it can be.
When were you intimate with the other guy, Miss Cole?
I was told it was around the 2nd of April.
Is that true?
No.
When was it?
April 10th.
Oh, the next night.
Yes.
The bottom line is, in open court, she's saying it was the next day, April 10th.
Oh man, this is just a mess. The only good part was that the family was ready to step up if Miss Cole's claims were true. If not, life was going to be really hard for the baby, and the mama, because she was too old to be the dad, was not ready to step up.
Mr. Gilbert, you are not the father.
I can admit when I'm wrong.
Step right up and witness the drama unfold. Sparks fly as a heated dispute ignites between a mother and her son's girlfriend. What's the bone of contention, you ask? Well, hold on to your seats because the mother claims that Miss Terrell's son is not biologically related to Mr. Jackson.
Ms. Holliday, you admit to cheating on the defendant, Mr. Terrell. Now, Mr. Terrell, you say your doubts about paternity surfaced when you logged on to Ms. Holliday's Facebook account.
Picture this. The grandmother firmly believes that her son's baby, as white as snow, couldn't possibly be related to him. She argues that the child lacks any features of his father, leading her to conclude that this little one can't be her grandson. Even the judge is taken aback by such bold claims. Can you believe that she's judging a book by its cover?
Mama, what's your number? Because I really need to talk with. Tell my son I love him and I can't wait to see him.
The second one is the dude she cheated on.
I was about to say, this is another person.
Yeah, and I seen the messages, I'm in the room and I'm on the phone, I'm on Facebook and I'm seeing her.
Hold your breath, ladies and gentlemen, because now we have a surprise guest stepping into the courtroom. It's Terrell's sister, Miss Archivist. Whose side is she on? Her brother's girlfriend or her flesh and blood? Brace yourselves because it seems like Miss Archivist is convinced that this child is not her brother's, and she's quick to dismiss Miss Jackson as nothing more than a side chick.
Do you admit to being intimate with the 3 men in question?
Okay, I cheated on TJ one time. The second guy, Devin, I didn't have sex with Devin when I was no longer talking to Devin at all.
Okay, what about the boat incident?
Miss Terrell herself has some compelling evidence up her sleeve if you're willing to take a peek. For starters, the baby bears the surname of his mother's ex-husband. Furthermore, the birth certificate lacks any mention of a father's name. Miss Jackson argued that the father wasn't present during the birth.
So you sitting out in the car and she's up kissing somebody else?
Yeah.
That's what you believe?
Yes.
So why are all these men making inquiries as to whether they're the father of your child? I don't understand this.
The judge called upon Mr. Hughes to shed some light on the matter. Does he believe he's the father of this child? Well, here's a twist for you. Mr. Hughes reveals that he's biracial, which means this Snow White baby might just be his son. But hold your horses. His sister and mother are adamant that he denied fathering this child. What's going on here? Is Mr. Hughes easily swayed, or did he struggle to make up his mind?
So do you believe Fonz is your grandson's child?
I told him to get a DNA because I have a spirit of discernment.
So you've been asking for it consistently?
Yes, but one thing I do know that happened.
Prepare to be shocked by the truth bomb dropped by Miss McBirth. She confesses her frustration to the judge, and boy, does it pack a punch. What's got her so worked up, you ask? It turns out she's exhausted from taking care of her son's kids. Mr. Hughes seems to have a knack for sowing wild oats without considering the consequences.
Ms. Holliday, you also brought a witness, and I would like to hear from her. Please stand, ma'am.
What would you like to add, ma'am? What do you know about this?
Well, the three men, TJ knew all about all of them.
And now, for the grand finale, the truth was about to be unveiled. Hold up, because this might get dizzy. Why am I saying so? Well, you can see how non-negotiable the plaintiffs have been about this paternity. You can't say how they will handle the result if it doesn't go their way.
You are the father. So, Mr. Williamson, I know this was not the news you wanted. How do you feel?
I feel real bad. I already have a daughter 5 years old.
Unanswered questions and loneliness. It's difficult, right? But one has to keep their courage up, or else the truth will remain hidden forever. Miss Dandridge, with all these thoughts, came to meet her potential father for the first time.
Ms. Dandridge, you have asked for a few minutes alone with me before the defendant joins us.
Yes, ma'am.
You say you are here to determine if you finally found your biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Dandridge always believed her sister's dad was her father until she found her adoption papers, and after several attempts of confronting her mother, she finally gave her a name, and Mama quit contact with her.
And then with that information, you did what?
I made a Facebook page. Yes.
And you've never met Mr. Sigmund?
I've only seen a picture of him.
Are you ready to meet him for the first time?
Yeah.
The young woman was eager, but also scared to meet her daddy for the first time. I'm sure it must be tough for her. So the judge brought in Mr. Sigmund so that the father-daughter reunion couldn't get delayed anymore.
Mr. Sigmund, thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
The defendant shared his feelings that he was shocked to find out about his potential daughter, because in his youth he knew he was sterile, but he said that he was happy with her mother and expressed great joy while recalling his relationship with her mom.
So, you did know her mother?
Yes, ma'am.
And you did have a relationship with her mother? Well, I don't know if her daughter needed to hear all that, but...
So he mentioned all the merriness of their relationship. Good. It was nice to know things were positive, but what happened on the next turn? Where did the fallout take place? The next defendant shared what pulled these lovers apart.
Things got blowed up. She was gone when I got in trouble with the law down there. I made some bad choices. I got kicked out of the state of Florida, knowing that I was sterile.
So did you ever know that her mother was pregnant?
No.
It was sad to know about their short, bittersweet story. Then Mr. Sigmund replied to the judge that his inability created doubt in him, and also her mother could be seeing other guys as well, to which the plaintiff calmly agreed.
I have a whole life that he was robbed of if this man is my father, and I pray, I really want him to be my dad. I need this. I have a hole in my chest and I need this.
The stakes of this case were very high. A girl questioning her identity and hoping to prove her paternity, and a man who wanted to finally embrace his daughter. It was a sensitive moment, but the truth should be revealed to give them a final closure.
Mr. Sigmund, you are not her father.
He was supposed to be my dad!
How can you double a mother's grief who has already lost her both sons? Not just one, but two! Mrs. Watts is testing her patience in this difficult situation when she finds that her deceased son could have a baby as well. This mother needs answers today.
Mrs. Watts asked for a DNA test to determine the truth. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Sherrill, you say that you are 100% sure that Mrs. Watts' son, Alex,
The plaintiff painfully shared her loss and stated that her two sons went to a friend's house where, due to an altercation, both of them got murdered there. It was devastating to see a mother recalling her son's death. Then, upon being asked, Ms. Sherrill talked about her relationship with the alleged father.
Can you tell the court the nature of your relationship with Mr. Stewart, Alex?
We were in love. Every time you seen Alex, you seen me, you seen him. We were always together.
Talking about a father-son relationship, the defendant shared that she was sure that he was the father because Mrs. Watts' son, Alex, had a deep bond with her baby, and he never questioned for a test. But Grandma cut her off and shared her doubts.
Alex is, and she said that she didn't know she needed a DNA test. She sent it to me in a text message.
Do you have that text message?
I do.
This is a text message between you and Ms. Sherrill.
Yes.
Then the defendant explained that during their break, she had a one-night stand and confided in Alex about this. But her text to Mrs. Watts was due to confusion because the pregnancy test took some time. But after the results, she was sure of Alex's paternity. Next, she continued talking about her pregnancy.
Alex did want to keep the whole pregnancy a secret. He did not want nobody to know about the...
Why is that?
Alex was a secretive person. He did not like people in his business. We both decided to keep this a secret.
They easily called him a secretive person. But how can you be like this when there is a baby on the way? Judge asked them about the birth, and Miss Sherrill revealed that she kept it a secret, and Alex wasn't there as well. The next judge asked the defendant about her son's last name, and she explained her reasons.
And it's not Mr. Stewart's last name.
No, Your Honor.
Why not give him Alex's last name if you knew without a shadow of the doubt that he really was the father?
I may have had a little doubt in my mind.
They took secrecy to a new level. Who keeps a baby's birth a secret? Then the judge brought in the plaintiff's witness, and he also expressed his doubts regarding the baby, saying that Alex never confronted them about his son. Upon this, defendant shared her opinion on Alex's secrecy.
And it was determined that he was the biological father.
Exactly. So of course he's gonna claim her because he got the blood test to know exactly sure. I was a single mother of 2 other daughters at the time. I stayed with my mama. I know my mama was gonna be disappointed. She didn't want me having no more kids.
This case is so calmly confusing, and no one knows exactly why things have been like this until now. Then the judge asked the defendant whether the baby had any relations with the plaintiff, but she replied that due to lack of personal transport, they don't have a bond with her son. Next, Mrs. Watts shared her reasons for detachment from the baby.
Open that door and get attached to the baby, and then I don't want to get any attachment if it's not my son's child. I think he's a beautiful little boy, and I just want to be sure. I don't know.
Secrets and unanswered questions have left a baby's life at stake. It was not a hopeless case, but the actions and expressions of both parties were so ambiguous that we couldn't see any light of hope, and the judge was ready to read the results.
Ms. Lita Watt and Caden is 0.006%. You are not related. I do believe you knew somewhere deep down inside that this